The world is shifting beneath our feet. Developments are happening constantly, faster than we can comprehend. Every news report, every political maneuver, every technological advance, each one is a piece of a greater puzzle, a pattern that is falling into place. We stand on the precipice of something unprecedented in human history, a moment that has been foretold for centuries. The introduction of the mark of the beast. What was once dismissed as ancient prophecy is now looming on the horizon, ready to erupt into reality. Revelation 13, with all its chilling warnings and mysterious symbols, is no longer a distant echo of the past. It is alive, breathing, and about to unfold before our very eyes. The time for complacency is over. The clock is ticking, and the call to awaken has never been more urgent. Can you feel it? The world is not as it seems, and the events that are coming will change everything. Forever. It will change everything, forever. Prepare yourself, because prophecy is not just a story. It is about to become the world you live in. Today, as technology advances at an unprecedented pace, many Christians are beginning to feel a renewed sense of urgency. With the rapid rise of digital identification systems being implemented across the globe, one cannot help but wonder, is this the infrastructure that will eventually lead to the fulfillment of Revelation's prophecy? Could the spirit of the Antichrist be revealing himself, preparing the way for the arrival of the man of sin? Could the spirit of the Antichrist be the force behind the scenes that seems to be pushing the world toward a global digital identification system? Could the spirit of the Antichrist be the force behind the scenes that seems to be wanting to take away more and more of the individual freedoms and civil liberties of the average person? If you look at the world around you, there is an unnatural force that is aligning global leaders together to create a world where you cannot buy or sell without a mark. While we are not saying that digital IDs is the mark of the beast itself, the systems being put in place today bear a striking resemblance to the economic and social controls described in the 13th chapter of the book of Revelation. Revelation 13 introduces two beasts, one representing the Antichrist and the other the false prophet. This second beast is described as one who will deceive the world with signs and wonders, and who will command the construction of an image that all people must worship. Alongside this image comes a mark, which all people must receive in their right hand or forehead in order to participate in the economy. Without this mark, no one will be able to buy or sell, creating a system of absolute control over society. Revelation 13 verses 16 to 17, "And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name." The word translated as mark in this passage is charagma, which means something engraved or imprinted. This implies a permanent or indelible mark, one that cannot easily be removed or hidden. In the context of Revelation, this mark is more than just a physical identifier. It is a symbol of allegiance to the beast. It is a symbol of worship to the beast. Those who receive it are pledging their loyalty to the beast's system, choosing to be part of an economic dictatorship that excludes anyone who does not comply. This description of the mark of the beast is more than a mere symbol of control. It represents the ultimate spiritual allegiance: worship. The act of receiving this mark is tantamount to a complete rejection of God and an acceptance of the beast's authority over one's life. The beast's system offers no neutrality. Either you are for it or you are against it. The Bible is clear that those who receive the mark are forever bound to the system of the Antichrist, and they are cut off from God's grace. What should alarm us today is how closely the technological systems being developed resemble this kind of control. While we are not yet at the point where a mark is being imposed on everyone's right hand or forehead, the infrastructure for such a system is rapidly being developed. Digital ID systems, central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, and biometric verification are all tools that could be used to enforce the kind of economic control described in Revelation 13. You may ask the question, what exactly is a digital ID? In simple terms, a digital identity is an electronic version of a person's identity, often stored in a centralized system. It can include biometric data such as fingerprints, facial recognition, iris scans, along with a digital record of an individual's activities, financial transactions, and social interactions. Once fully implemented, a digital ID could be used to verify a person's identity in nearly every aspect of life, from banking and healthcare to voting and traveling. Digital identity is already being embraced by many countries around the world. Australia, for example, plans to implement a comprehensive digital identity program by the end of 2024. This system, known as the Trust Exchange, TX, will enable digital identity verification across a host of services and transactions, making it difficult for anyone to function in society without being part of the system. Other nations, such as India, have also implemented national digital ID systems. India's Aadhaar system is the largest biometric ID system in the world, and it assigns a unique 12-digit identification number to each citizen based on their biometric and demographic data. With Aadhaar, individuals can access government services, open bank accounts, and even make purchases, all tied to their digital identity. The global push for digital ID is being driven by influential world leaders and global entities. In September 2022, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation announced a $200 million investment to help create an infrastructure that includes tools such as interoperable payment systems, digital ID, data sharing systems, and civil registry databases. They have presented this initiative as a way to help countries become more resilient to crises such as food shortages, public health threats, and climate change. During the World Economic Forum's annual gathering in Davos in January 2023, former UK Prime Minister Tony Blair spoke openly about the importance of national digital infrastructures, particularly in the context of monitoring who had or had not been vaccinated. Klaus Schwab, founder and chairman of the World Economic Forum, has also been vocal in his support of digital identity systems. Schwab envisions a world where all people are digitally identified, allowing governments and corporations to track, trace, and monitor the activities of individuals in real time. These developments are often presented as positive steps toward greater efficiency, security, and resilience in times of crisis. But we must ask ourselves, at what cost? World leaders truly pushing for a digital ID that will give them unprecedented knowledge and control over every aspect of our lives, from banking and healthcare to voting and traveling. Are we willing to sacrifice our privacy and autonomy for this system? Brothers and sisters, many people mistakenly believe that the Antichrist will take years, maybe even decades, to set up his system described in Revelation 13. But this is not the case. His system is already here, his infrastructure is already in place. We are only waiting for him to be revealed, and once that happens, his mark will follow. Ask yourself, why do these world leaders so desperately seek godlike control over our lives? It is because the spirit of the Antichrist is already at work in the world. Once digital identity is tied to a person's financial accounts, medical records, and social behaviors, it can be used as a means of control. A government or corporation could easily restrict access to essential services or funds based on whether a person is deemed compliant with certain policies or rules. This is not merely a hypothetical scenario. Similar systems are already being implemented in countries like China, where a social credit system determines a person's access to jobs, loans, and even travel based on their behavior and political beliefs. China's social credit system monitors every aspect of a citizen's life, assigning them a score based on their actions. Those with higher scores are rewarded with privileges, while those with lower scores are punished, losing access to financial services, travel, and even education for their children. We must be wise as serpents and harmless as doves. The spirit of the Antichrist works subtly and slowly, drawing the world into its web of control. Through gradual acceptance of convenience, we may unknowingly be laying down our rights and freedoms, which will eventually give way to total control. This is the path that leads to a system where allegiance to Christ could cost us everything, even the ability to function in society. As believers, we must approach these developments with a sense of urgency. We cannot afford to be complacent or naive about the direction in which the world is heading. While we must be careful not to jump to conclusions or propagate unfounded theories, we also cannot ignore the signs that are unfolding before our eyes.